Hello students, in our unit magnetism, now we are going to understand the heading force on a current. I will take the reference of force on a charge formula. Okay, we have studied this formula, Lorentz force formula, that whenever a moving charge enters in the magnetic field B, okay, then it experiences a force that is called Lorentz force. So condition is that charge should be moving and magnetic field is present in that it enters, so it experiences the force. Now in the same manner we have to find out that if we are given a current carrying conductor and that current carrying conductor is placed in magnetic field B, then what will be the resultant? So you see student, if a current carrying conductor is placed in magnetic field B, then what will be the resultant? So resultant will again be the force, because you see moving charge means any charge having velocity v. Moving charge is actually a current only. So both are similar concepts. Whether a moving charge is present in magnetic field B or a current is present in magnetic field B, they both experience the force. So with the help of the same formula, we are going to now get the force formula in terms of current. So let us draw a conductor. Suppose we are given a conductor, okay, this way. Now this conductor is having current also and it is present in magnetic field B also. So magnetic field B is present, okay, and why current is present? So we need to show a battery, because current flows due to a battery connected to it. So suppose a battery is connected. Now first of all take the reference of unit second, current electricity. How the current is formed due to battery? Because there are so many electrons in the conductor and all the electrons being negatively charged, they are forced towards the positive of the battery. So they all get a velocity which we call drift velocity. That's why the current is formed. Okay. So when all the electrons are moving here, current is actually moving in this direction, because current is always opposite to the electron flow. So I is also present and B is also present. Okay. So now let us make the formula of the force on this conductor. This force formula we have to make. So what are the datas? Let us take. We will be needing these datas. Suppose L is the length of this conductor. Let us take L. L is the length of this conductor. L. A is the area of cross section. Area of cross section. And Vd is drift velocity of electrons. And we will be needing how many total electrons are there. So suppose I call capital N means total number of electrons. Now let us start. What we will do here? To find the force on the conductor, we will first find the force on each electron. Then we will find the total force. So let us start. Force on each electron. What is the force on each electron? That means each charge. That is this formula. So let us call it F dash. Force on each electron is F dash. Formula, let us apply. Charge of each electron is E. Velocity of each electron is drift. Speed Vd. So this is the force on each electron. Now let us find the force on whole conductor. Let us find the force on whole conductor. Now whole conductor means all electrons we have to take. Okay. all the electrons. So suppose there are n electrons in this, so total force will be n times the force on each electron. So this way n E V D cross B. Now you already know that capital N is total number of electrons, but we can always convert it in number density, small n. Number density is number of electrons per unit volume. So whenever I write capital N, I have to write it small n into volume. Okay? Small n into volume. This I have written capital N. All other things I will write same. Okay? After that now, do we know the volume of this conductor? So see, area of the cross section is A and length is L. So I will break now volume as area into length. This is length. After that now, can I have, did I get I current from this formula somehow? Okay, so recall your formula of I equal to, where should I write? I equal to NaEVD. Remember this formula? Current I equal to NaEVD. So you see NaEVD. This is all current. These all quantities, if I separate, this is current. What is remaining? That is L and cross B. So NaEVD is current I in this conductor. L is separate, cross B is separate. So actually now the force formula is obtained in terms of current. This is our final answer. We can also write it in sin theta. So ILB sin theta also can be written. Okay. Now you can see here current is taken out because it is a scalar quantity. Here we need the cross product of vectors. So L vector and B vector. So I should put here vector symbol, vector notation. Now in the vectors, what is the meaning of this L vector? So L is the length of the conductor, but how to assign direction? So direction of the current is the direction of L vector. So we should write here L vector is the length vector in the direction of current. So when we need this theta, no? So theta should be the angle between L and B, but L's direction is decided by current direction only. So actually this theta is the angle between current and magnetic field direction. We cannot keep the current inside because current is a scalar quantity. So we have kept I outside, but actually its direction has the important role in deciding the force value. So remember, L direction is the direction of current. So this theta angle is the angle between current direction and magnetic field direction. Okay. Now note down this derivation part, and now I'll tell you the Fleming's left hand rule to find the direction of this force. Now the rule which is used to find the direction of the force on any current, that is Fleming's left hand rule. Okay, till now we were using right hand thumb rule to find direction of magnetic field. Now to find direction of force, we need the left hand rule. We have to use our left hand. Okay, now left hand rule says that we have to use left hand. The three fingers should be at 90 degrees stretched like this. Central finger should be stretched in the direction of current. First finger in the direction of field. Then output is thumb. That shows the direction of force. So as we have studied, the inputs are current and magnetic field. is force. Current is denoted by central finger. Field is denoted by first finger. Force is denoted by thumb. So you see, this is the first finger and this one is the central finger. So central finger, it is the direction of the current. First finger, it is the direction of the field. Then thumb is our resultant force direction. We have to always find this direction. Okay, so what we have to do, first of all, we have to stretch in this manner so that everything is at 90. These two are also at 90. These two, this thumb is coming out of the board. So this and this is also at 90. Okay, this way. Now how to remember it? Very easy technique is there. From C to C, remember this way. Central is current. Central finger is current. Then first finger F to F. Remember F to F. First finger is field B. So resultant thumb is in the, thumb shows the direction of the force. Okay, I'll take now a practice question. Now you see we have this question. In this, X, Y, Z axis are shown. This is Z axis. One charge Q, it is moving this way in the board. See, this is the board plane YZ and this X axis is coming out of the board. Okay, X axis is perpendicular like this, coming out of the board. Now the charge is moving in the board. Okay, this charge is moving in the board. What are we asked? Find the direction of the force on the charge. Okay, now we will use left hand rule, this Fleming's left hand rule, to find the direction of the force. So we need the current, field, and that way we will find the force. Now current is not given, magnetic field is given, but current is not given. But you see this charge is positive, and whatever is the direction of the positive charge, that is the direction of the current. Okay, direction of the positive charge and direction of the current is same. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to show this velocity in the board. So what you have to do, one by one, take your left hand. These three things are there: thumb, force, first finger, field, and the central finger is current. So first of all, you see now this charge, it is going in the board. Okay, this charge is going in the board. That means the current is going in the board. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to turn central finger in the board. Then this first finger should be in the field direction. Field is upward. So where is the thumb pointing? So thumb is pointing in the Y direction. Did you understand? You see, this central finger is going in the board. This thumb is going in the field direction upward. So where is this thumb pointing? Thumb is pointing in the Y direction. So the answer is that the force is in the Y direction. Positive Y direction. Okay, this Y direction is the force direction. I think the concept is clear to you. Okay. Now you see this question number 2, based on Fleming's left hand rule. A neutron, alpha particle and electron are entering with equal velocities perpendicular to the field B. Okay, so B field is given like this. Okay, trace their trajectories. That means now we have to show their paths. Okay, what will be their paths, that we have to discuss here. Okay, see, alpha, neutron and electron, they are entering in the field. This is shown field, magnetic field B. Cross means it is normally inwards. Okay, now all are entering. Alpha is also entering. Okay, they are entering. Fine. Now first of all, let us see the direction. So whenever the velocity and magnetic field B are perpendicular, then the charge makes the circle. Correct? Charge makes the circle. This we have already studied. So you see, every particle is coming like this. This is the direction of coming, that means velocity. And magnetic field is normally inwards. So what is the angle between the two? 90 degree. So that's why they will make circle. Now first concept we have understood, that if a charge velocity perpendicular to B, then it makes circle. First concept was this. Now second concept is where circle, like if this charge is there, it will go like this or like this. That means clockwise or anti-clockwise. So now we need to find the force direction. Okay. Alpha particle is positively charged particle. So current direction is, due to its flow, current direction is this way only. Okay. So this way only the current direction is. So what you need to do, you have to use your left hand. First finger is field. Field is normally inwards. So turn your first finger normally inwards. Then you turn your hand in such a manner that this central finger, it should be in the current direction. So you see current direction is this. So you see current direction. Then this is the forefinger, means first finger in the board. So you see I have stretched my fingers. This is central finger, current. This is first finger, field. So where is the thumb pointing? Thumb is pointing upward. That's why this alpha particle will be experiencing a force upward direction, and then it will make a circle. Now what about neutron? Neutron is a neutral particle. So it is not charged. So that's why if charge is 0, force is 0. So it will be unaffected from this मैग्नेटिक फील्ड. सो इस पर कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, ये सीधा सीधा जाएगा. ओके, बिकॉज इट इज न्यूट्रल. सो इट्स रीजन इज न्यूट्रल. What is the logic behind this? That it is neutral, so it will go straight. Now electron is negatively charged. So if electron is going here, that means current is going opposite. Okay, so when using your left hand, Fleming's left hand rule, no, you have to turn this left hand in such a manner that current is now in this direction. That means this central finger, it is in this direction. So central finger is in the current direction. So this way, force direction, central finger is in the current direction, forefinger is normally inwards to the board, so thumb direction is downwards. That's why the force on the electron is now downwards. So it will make a circle turning downwards. These are the trajectories which were required. I think you have understood. Alpha particle is getting the force upward, but electron being negative, it is getting the force downward. And neutron, because it is neutral, so no charge means no force due to magnetic field. So it will go where it wanted to go. Okay, this way. Now I have drawn this alpha particle circle bigger and electron circle smaller. This can be obtained from this R equal to mv upon qb formula. We know that R alpha, radius of alpha, and radius of electron, if we get the ratio m alpha, v alpha, q alpha b, m e v q e b written. Now velocities are same, magnetic fields are same, so these are the ratio. And obviously alpha particle is heavy particle, so its mass is very big in comparison to electron. So obviously the radius of alpha will come greater than radius of electron. So these three concepts we have used to solve this question. Firstly, circle, because velocity direction and magnetic field direction are perpendicular, so they will make circle. Second concept is force direction. And third concept is radius. Which radius will be greater? So alpha's radius will be greater in comparison to electron's radius. So this way we have practiced Fleming's left hand rule. You can also practice some more questions. Okay students.